think I'm properly dressed for this episode. Wear my super grandpa looking, whatever this thing's called. What is this called? The cover up that you wear before you go to bed. A scarf, a robe. I'm wearing my robe, my lucky robe. I've worn this thing 3 times in my entire life. But decided to hop on here, talk to you guys. I'm going to try to stay away from the coronavirus. A lot of people talking about that. There's a lot of shit going around, a lot of negativity. It's a sad, depressing, mellow tone everywhere you go, pretty much. And I do not want to contribute to that. Sorry about that. I do not want to contribute to that, so I'm going to try my hardest to not do that. I'm going to try to keep the tone up, try to keep the mood up, and try to make sure you guys are watching the podcast, listening to the podcast in a state of mind that isn't depressive, because right now, dude, everything is shut down. The world's shut down. Unemployment is at the highest it's ever been. Like 3.3 million people, I think I saw, are unemployed right now, which is like it's got to be like the highest. That's got to be like the highest unemployment's been forever, I think, in the history of America. It's through the roof. People are struggling. I mean, like, I know, for example, I don't have a job. Like, I got my last payment on the 25th of March, which was a weird feeling because it is legit my last payment. Like, that is my last payment I get until the New Year's come around, or not New Year's, but until this virus goes away. I won't be getting paid anymore. And it's a weird feeling. I don't know how I'm going to make my money. You know, I make a little bit of money on YouTube. Trust me when I say it's not enough to take care of yourself, especially if you have to pay for anything. You're not going to be able to do it. But, you know, I did see that the government did pass like a $2 trillion stimulus package, which I know in it, I think everyone gets like $1,200. I think it's for people, I want to say it's for people over the age of 18 and you have to be unemployed. I think that's what it is. I'm not too sure. By the time this podcast comes out, I'm sure it's already going to be out there, and I'm sure like all the information I'm saying is wrong. If I am, I apologize. But just a few things, man. Besides that, one thing I did do, which is something that you guys could do. My girlfriend, she went ahead and she applied for WAG. And actually, I snuck up here to do a podcast real quick because she just got her first dog walk, which is super exciting. Super proud for her to do that. The one thing I did want to talk to you guys real quick about, which is something that I think you can utilize. I know I'm going to try my hardest to utilize it. So we live in a time, even with the economy down, even with the coronavirus, even with all this panic that's going on, there's still so many ways to make money. Like what I was telling Taylor earlier. So what we're experiencing right now it's completely new. It's completely new in the sense that this economic crash is the first economic crash that we've had where it's going to be, during the Great Depression, we were an industrialized nation, right? So a lot of people worked jobs that were hands-on, a lot of factory stuff. There was a lot less money moving around in the cloud. There's a lot less ways to make money off of creativity. It was very much get your hands in the dirt, strap on your boots, and that's how you made money, you know? So that was during that time, during the Great Depression. And then the wars helped us get out of that, because even though the only way to really make money at that time was to get your hands dirty, during war, everybody increases the rate, increases what they need. The country increases what they need, so the people getting their hands dirty are increasing the productivity of those items. So that's what helped us get out of that depression. But this is a weird one, right? This is a weird one in the sense that the way that we're going to get out of this recession is going to be interesting, right? Also, during that time, there wasn't the ability, probably just me riffing, I don't think there was quite the ability to develop a stimulus package. I don't think people understood. I don't think that was even a thought. Maybe it was. I'm not too sure. I know in 2008 they passed something, I believe, and then it took like 6 months for people's paychecks to actually come in. But this one's weird, right? Because if you look at the United States now, the United States economy is made up of, yes, get your hands in the dirt, work hard, factory, blah, 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 but not nearly as much as it used to be. I would say our economy is more of a technology-based economy, which is something that most of the world is experiencing. Most of the world's not going from no jobs, first world country, into a industrialized place. Some countries are, but a lot of countries are kind of hovering at that place where we require huge banking systems that transfer money back and forth through the internet, through the cloud. We do a lot of storing of our information into data ranges. So you're running in a special situation where through the stimulus package, people are receiving money. A lot of people got unemployed, right? A lot of people unemployed, especially people who work those physical jobs, get your hands in the mud. Even if it's something like being a sales rep, which is essentially what I was, or what I worry the most about is people that working in the restaurant industry, because I've done that and I understand. I've worked with many people who do, in order to pay their rent or buy diapers or whatever it takes, it's that last Friday or it's that last Saturday when they get in there and they work, right? And then that's what covers their rent for them. I've seen that firsthand. You know, I haven't personally experienced that, but I've seen it, right? Just working in the restaurant industry, and there's a lot of people that require money that way. And although that's a huge blow to our system, I think there's a lot of jobs that aren't going away simply because of the fact, or at least we've been able to get ourselves to a point where we can all pivot, right? We can all make that pivot move. We can all. It's almost like a lot of jobs are you go to places when you don't necessarily have to. A lot of jobs you can do from a computer, you can do from your bedroom, you can do from a desk. But I think a lot of the reason why people don't do that is simply because it's harder to get the job done. And if you're an organization, you kind of want all your employees to be in one area, so productivity is higher. But I may just be an optimist on this, but I truly believe that when this is all over, when the coronavirus dies down, and when it does come back, because I know a lot of specialists are out there, and I believe this wholeheartedly. This is what I subscribe to. This is something that's going to come probably every year, the same way that the common cold does, the same way that influenza comes. And I'm hoping, most likely, I believe that they will develop some type of vaccine for it, and I hope we can fight it off each year. And it's something that we've never really experienced before. So it's a lot of the panic that's going around is coming from the lack of experience with this, something that we've never had to dealt with before. But I like I said, I think I am an optimist. I do hope and I do believe that the economy will turn around quicker than what people think. And there's a few reasons for that. A few reasons because financially, I think we can be productive no matter what happens. I think these jobs, especially with the stimulus package that got passed, I think a lot of money is going to go into these jobs that hire a lot of people, maybe for not that much pay, maybe not for little pay, but a median pay that like supplies education to your kids, pays for a 2,000 square footage house that allows you to get a job. I think a lot of those jobs are going to be okay. I think the government's gonna help them out. The other thing I think is amazing here is during all of this chaos, during this panic, during this time of just a lot of questions about the future, what's going to happen to my occupation. I think the one thing that we have been able to do, and I've said this a few times to a few people, and I think a lot of it is, when I say it, it comes off confusing. I think there's been a lot less aggression than what I anticipated. And I think the reason why I say that, and I'm confident saying that, is because you would think, like I would think, is when a pandemic does hit, there would be total and utter chaos. But I think with the coronavirus, it really hasn't been chaos. Economically, financially, yes, it's been chaos. I think mentally, it's going to be chaos in the future. But there's not a lot of barbaric actions that I truly thought was going to happen. I thought people would start physically trying to take what they believe is theirs. But there's been a lot of talk. There's been open lines of communications with President Trump, and you can say what you want about him and his lack of dealing with this a proper way. That's not the point. What the point I'm making is you can see the House and you see the Senate deciding on something and agreeing on something. There's always been this narrative, especially for the past 5 to 10 years, especially the past 5 years, where the left and the right, the blue and the red, Democrats and Republicans don't agree on anything. But what this is showing everybody is that no matter what your political beliefs are, no matter what your views are about certain subjects, when shit does hit the fan, it seems like, as much as we don't want to believe it, we're all the same. And what we all want is for people to just live a comfortable life. And I see everywhere, people are donating, making organizations. Hollywood stars, football players, basketball players are donating their money to relief for the coronavirus. And it's a beautiful thing. And it's almost refreshing to see. Like, when you are in like the hot tub and you jump in the water and you can feel that coldness is all over. It's like everywhere. As much as it sucks being stuck in your house and not being able to work and how not having routine is making you go crazy, it's really interesting to take a back seat and look at the world and how the world is acting like we're one species. It really is. It's a beautiful thing to see, because I think for the longest time that the hope of that was gone. I think people truly believe that there was teams and if you were this part of this team, you couldn't be with that team. And I don't like your viewpoint on this, so I'm going to attack you as an entire person, as an entire being, instead of understanding that's just a branch of you. That's gone, and it's almost like, why is that gone? Is that gone because people have those wholehearted beliefs and they believe in that much, or is it because there's less interaction between people? I think there's something that got away, and I know this just from being my age. I was born and I was raised most of my life in a time area where it was, you were with your family, right? And you were with them all day, pretty much, besides school and when you were at sports. Otherwise, you were with people that you cared about the most all day. No distractions from anything. No phone, no internet, really. So I was born in 96. So for the first 10 years of my life, 10, 12 years of my life, there wasn't really a lot of, there was definitely not social media per se, and there wasn't a lot of internet. I think a lot of people, this pandemic is grounding a lot of people. Trust me, I understand that there's a lot of chaos too. I understand that there's a serious issue going on, and this is going to be a serious issue for a long time, and I totally believe that. But at the same time, it seems like values that people are finally subscribing to, such as, you are a human, I'm a human, I'm going to treat you like one, besides attacking you for your moral grounds on what you stand for. Those values are coming back, and it's honestly, it's good to see. It's almost like this coronavirus is resetting the curled up tension that we all created, right? That we all kind of subscribed to. We started attacking each other. I mean, I start thinking about what was the biggest news going on before the coronavirus. It was probably a tweet that Trump put out, or it's probably a remark that someone made to somebody. It was something that was probably so dumb, right? Just that didn't need to be, that, not that it didn't need to be said, but it didn't make sense when it was said. And I think that's something that people have to realize through all this chaos, is that on the other side, first off, we will get through it. This isn't the end of the world, right, man? I truly believe that the way that the world ends, at least for humans, is I don't think it's going to be a pandemic. I really don't. I think it's going to be from disaster. The sun decides to explode a little bit more aggressively, and a nova crushes us, and we die, we burn. I don't think, it sounds crazy to say, but coronavirus is not going to be the end of this world, right? And we're going to get through it, and it's going to be okay. And I think on the other side, it's going to be chaos. But chaos always brings beauty, right? I mean, hurricanes, after a hurricane comes through, it's a disaster on land, but in the water, it's gorgeous, right? It's calm. The eye of the hurricane is calm, and I truly believe that's what we can anticipate. There's also something nice about not having constant news articles all the time in your face. There's not like this sporting event, that sporting event, this said that, this and this. It's just like everyone's kind of getting back to, I don't want to say American values because that sounds very nationalistic and selfish, but human values. Human values, connecting with people, talking to people that you care about. I know for me, I'm probably going to play a board game with my family tonight. Like, that's stuff that you've never really done before, and I think that's stuff that has been missing. And I think those are the things that have led to such a polarizing world that we've lived in for so long. It hasn't even been that long, but it's felt like that long. I think people are being heard. I think a lot of our differences that really didn't impact anything, like if you really got down to it, are being poofed in the air, which for me personally, I think is fine. I think that's fine. And I know we will get through this and things will be okay. And I think the economy will recover. And I think we will be aware of how fragile life is. And I think the biggest takeaway from this is people are going to understand just how lucky we are to be able to go to the grocery store when we want, to be able to go bowling if we want to do that. If I want to go take a flight to Hawaii, if I have the financial capability, I can just go. If I want to go visit Europe, I can go. I think that's something that we take for granted, and this is the way the world's looking at us. Like, hey man, yo asshole, let's be kind to one another, right? Because let's stop trashing the rivers. The world's cleaning itself up. Literally, air pollution is down. It's almost like the world gave up on us finding the answer, and it just kind of found the answer for us. And I know that's a very much of a spiritual thing, and it's very much of a metaphysical thing. It sounds crazy, sounds hippie-ish, but it feels like that. It feels like how great and how powerful we are as humans. We just kind of have been forced to just relax a little bit. Kind of for me now, I feel great, right? I do. I feel fine. I feel good. I feel like I'm in a decent headspace, and I feel good. I woke up this morning. I fed the dog, I took her outside. I made breakfast for Taylor. I drank a couple cups of coffee, and I got down doing my homework. I started my homework at 9 a.m. and I didn't stop till 1:30, right? And then between 2 o'clock, I ran some errands between 1:30 and 2 o'clock. Between 2 o'clock to, 3:45, I did a podcast. I did more homework, right? I'm getting a lot of things done. Just having conversation again, and it sucks for so many levels. One of my buddies that I played high school baseball with posted a picture of him and one of his players missing the season. It was sad. The seniors in sports, colleges, high school, they don't get to play their senior year of baseball, lacrosse, and that sucks. That sucks on so many levels. Those are memories that in this lifetime you're never going to be able to experience. And I feel for people like that. I do. I really do. But it just is what it is. But there's a lot of things you can't do. I know for me, I've been, just like I said, just been doing homework. I've been reading a lot. I'm probably going to power up the PS4 today and probably play some video games. Just relax, start appreciating things more and more. Like I said, the podcast, I love doing this. It's growing. I don't want to give podcasts too much credit, but I truly believe podcast at the end of this and after all this is over, it's going to be much more respected than I think. I wouldn't say they're not respected, but maybe just more popular than I think they once were. And the reason why I say that, the reason why I think they're going to be more popular is because I know personally for me, through all this chaos, the one thing the one thing on my schedule that didn't get completely thrown off was podcast. I still got to listen to podcast. You know, that's something that I do. That's part of my schedule. I listen to specific podcasts. I listen to Chris D'Elia, Joe Rogan, Lex Fridman, Bert Kreischer, Theo Von this past weekend, Brandon Schaub, Fighter and the Kid, Brian Callen. A lot of podcasts I listen to. Those have still been going out, right? Those still go out and people still listen to them. I still listen to them. And they kind of do bring you comfort, right? They make you feel like everything is okay. But I really do believe that after this is over and after we get a handle on it, podcast, I'm going to get a better rap. And, that's awesome. I mean, I'm a big proponent. I love them. For so many reasons. They do help you grow a lot. I think emotionally they're so good. It all depends what you listen to, but even if it's just comedy, at least you listen to jokes and you have time to laugh, right? So many things that I'm showing way too much chest. This is like a fucking stripping podcast. Dude, I'm peeling so much. I'm peeling like an orange. Like my head, I rub my scalp and it's like I have dandruff falling off my head, but it's just skin because I got a sunburn real bad and everything's just, dude, I hate when you scratch yourself and you open up the dead skin, or if it's poison ivy and you can feel the liquid in it. That shit makes me gag. And I'm sorry if you're listening to this as you're like eating or something and I might have just made you gag. But yeah, fuck, I don't know what I was saying. But yeah, man, we will get through this. I know for me, I've signed up for Uber. like I've really just dropped my ego. I signed up for Uber. I'm trying to get a job with Uber. That would be awesome. Clean up my car. It just, I don't know. I think this time could really be taken advantage of to just putting away the phones. 1 second. Put away the phones. I always try to come up with title ideas as I'm doing the podcast. Just put away the phones. Spark up a conversation, have a drink, talk to your father about his job, talk to your mother about how is she doing, call a friend, text a friend, ask them how they're doing. For the people out there who suffer really badly from isolation and depression, I think those people need to be recognized. I think you need to talk to those people. Just let them know. Be that best friend that you've always wanted to be for somebody. Be that best friend, right? Be that person that they can rely on. Build that table, do that project you've always wanted to do, that you've always been putting off for whatever bullshit reason, right? Clean your room. Just there's so much you can do, and I think this is a eye-opening for a lot of people. I think a lot of people who maybe are laid off right now are realizing how empty their life really is, and how much of their life is just a job, right? And what else do I have? What else do I have more to offer? Because we all have so much to offer, and I think we're just clouded every day by distractions, and these distractions take us away from the joy and the meaning of life, the real meaning of life. And this will be over. They're looking for vaccines right now, and they will take care of this, and we'll be back, right? Just as quickly as this thing happened, it's going to recover. And when it does, what are we gonna do? Are we all just gonna go back to just creating chaos and tension between each other and throwing stones at glass houses? I hope not. I hope this is a learning experience for the human species. I really do. I do find some irony in it, though, that Greta Thunberg, that chick who, that chick, I shouldn't say chick, that's kind of disrespectful, but fuck it. That girl who was big into getting rid of pollution, who knew that the best way to get rid of the pollution in the world was just to shut humans down, literally shut humans down, and the world heals itself. There's been so many great things on Netflix I've been watching. I watched Bert Kreischer's new 1 hour special. Fucking hilarious. I swear to God. Specials are weird. Sometimes you watch comedy specials and they just don't seem that funny, because, and I think a lot of it has to do with, I've been at a comedy show, and there's something about going there and listening to people laugh, and you can there's an energy inside of a theater or an arena like I was when I saw Joe Rogan, Andrew Santino, and Tony Hinchcliffe. There's a feeling in the air that just makes it that much more funnier. And I've watched Netflix specials before where they're just not, where they're hilarious, but you're like, why am I not laughing? I'm not laughing as hard as I should be. But right now, there's some fucking killer comedy shows out there. Bert Kreischer has one. Hey Big Boy, Tom Segura. I haven't watched it yet, but I probably will watch it today, hopefully. He has an amazing one called Bag is Here, or Ball Hog. Chris D'Elia, I think, is putting one out soon, or he already has one. Whitney Cummings has an amazing one. There's just so much. There's so much you can do, and I think there's so many ways to occupy yourself. And I know for me, I'm just happy that this isn't as chaotic as I truly anticipated it would be. I thought it would be fucking, I thought it would be chaos, but it's not. It's not. And I'm not like depressed. Yeah. I thought I was not going to do well during this. I really did. I thought I was going to fall apart. I'm going to be open with you guys because a lot of the comments and people talk about this podcast to me are, you're very open. Going into this, I was fucking scared shitless. I thought I was going to completely unravel and fall apart. I'm only a week into it, 2 weeks into it, but I thought that the moment I stopped working and the moment I stopped going to school, I was going to fucking fall apart. I don't think that's true. I'm in a place now where I have to think about the thoughts going between both of my ears, and I have to recognize them, and I can't just run away from them. Whereas I think I was able to much easier when I was when I always had something on my books, when I had school, when I had work, when I decided to go to a coffee shop to do school. I think I've been forced to sit here hours on end and just think things out. I'm a lot less impulsive. I've been taking my phone and I just haven't been touching it, right? I was going into this thing scared shitless, and I hope a lot of people can relate to this. I hope it's not the other way where a lot of people have unraveled. And I think for those people who have completely unraveled, I think this is a time to maybe wake up to your situation. Maybe if you have completely lost your mind because you can't work or you can't go to school. Well, maybe at the core foundation of your life, that's what's not together, right? Maybe that's what's not together. Do you enjoy yourself? Well, if you're constantly busy, do you enjoy yourself as a person? Well, if you're constantly busy, it's so easy to completely run away from that question and just avoid it at all costs. It's easy to do that, right? It takes no talent to have a thought and say F it and just run the other way. Right? That takes no effort, that takes no skill. But I think what does take skill and what we're forced to do now, which I think is a great tool, the best tool, is you're forced in a situation now to sit there and you can't run from your thoughts. You can't run from the real person that you see looking back at yourself in a mirror. You have to stop and really break that down. How do you feel? Do you enjoy the life that you're living? Do you enjoy the relationship that you're in? Do you enjoy the fundamental conversations you have with your parents? Does your heart get angry when somebody calls in your family? I think those things, no matter when this is over and we get back to our normal life, if those things aren't adjusted, if those things aren't fixed, if those things haven't been given the time that they deserve to be viewed upon and to be worked with and to be tinkered with and to be taken care of, then no matter what the result of this is going to be, good or bad, your life is still going to be utter chaos because your foundation is broken. You can't have a broken foundation. You can do so much in this world. Why? Why is that true? Because the examples are given Everything that we know in this world was developed in between somebody's fucking brain. It developed in someone's brain. But the foundation of your life is the most important thing. You have to build that up. You have to be able to find yourself in a position where you feel comfortable around your family. You feel comfortable around your friends. And for me, I've spent so much of my life just hating people. Hating people. God, I used to hate people. I struggle with it still to this day, but I used to just, how most people say, assume people are good? I assume that everyone's a fucking lying piece of shit. And I hate that about myself. But, before this coronavirus thing happened, I didn't believe that I strictly believe that I thought that way. But I think now it's so easy to have that idea reinforced, because when you're on the go and you're not paying attention to things, your mind doesn't pay attention to good things. You only pay attention to the shitty things, which is going to just reinforce that very abrasive opinion you have on people, on the world, But now with the world slowing down, I can't think that. I can think that, but from a scientific viewpoint, it's rubbish. It's nonsense. It doesn't make sense, because I don't hate anybody. I don't dislike anybody. So if my opinion, if my hypothesis was correct that everybody's a dickhead, if that was correct, then I should hate everybody. But I don't. I love a lot of people, and I love being around a lot of people, and I love enjoying people's time, I just think this is the one thing that I saw this on Twitter, and let's end this podcast on a depressing note, Michael. Way to go. The one thing that is kind of, if not very depressing, is this right here. There's so many people who are in a relationship that are violent, that are domestical relationships, and that physical abuse is common, mental abuse is common, emotional abuse is common, gaslighting is common, getting punched in the fucking face is common. And I saw this on Twitter, and it made me just go like, fuck, man. There's so many people that work, their partners work, the person who's beating them was saving their life. They had to get away from them. And I feel so bad for those people who have to stay home now, and they're laid off, and they're inside these houses with these monsters. Because for me, I don't have firsthand experience with it. I've never grown up around a monster, really. I've never grown up around just a fucking asshole of a man or an asshole of a woman. So it's hard for me to fucking to really put my head there to really even process that. But I feel so bad for those people, and I think what I'm trying to say here is, if you know somebody like that, if you know somebody who you've been around them and their partner, and their relationship looks just, I know it's not our job to step our foot inside of somebody else's relationship. I know it's not. I know it's not. But touchy subject. I think what I'm trying to say is, like I was saying earlier in the podcast, just reach out to everybody that you know who you think is having a hard time, and let them know that your phone is just a second away. You can just text them. How are you doing? I'm doing well. Thank you so much for checking in on me. That's an important thing right now. That's an important thing. Working as a community is an important thing right now, and it's something that we're all learning. We're all taking this day by day, and we're all going to get through this. Yeah, man. We're all going to get through this. And my thoughts and prayers go out to everybody out there who is struggling hard. I hope this stimulus package helps you. Like I was saying, I got to finish my thought. There's like services out there. There's Grubhub. There's you can do WAG. You can do Uber. You can do there's a bunch of food services and like Let Go, Poshmark. There's so many ways you can make money on the side. I hustled eBay for a solid 3 months, and I made a couple $100. You could sell things on eBay. You can hustle with your car. there's ways to make money. There's ways to supplement your income. I might take this job at Costco just stocking shelves. I need money. This is the best time to drop your ego. That's just going to get you in danger during this time period. I'm sorry, like I said at the beginning of the episode, I told you guys I wasn't going to riff on the coronavirus. And I don't think I have too much, but I think I have talked a lot about just looking out for each other and the future of this and what we're currently dealing with right now. It's gonna work itself out. It always does, it always does. Every single time it works itself out. It's gonna be okay. I think it's okay to experience times like this, chaos like this. It puts things in perspective. A lot of people struggle with perspective. I don't struggle with it too much because I can just look up in the sky and realize, holy fuck, I'm just a little tiny piece of nothingness in this world of foreverness. But I think for a lot of people, they don't have the ability to do that. And I think this is just everyone's going through it, which I keep reminding myself, everyone's going through it. Everyone's experiencing it. Cities are shut down. But it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. Keep listening to podcasts. They help a lot. Keep listening to music. Joyner Lucas's album came out last week. If you guys want to listen to that, I haven't heard it yet because I'm recording this on a Thursday, but I will listen to it. Yeah, guys, just keep your head up. It's going to be okay. But that's going to be it, guys, for this episode. Yeah, I don't think I have anything else to cover. Nothing else to cover. But if you guys do watch us on Apple, we've been doing so well on Apple. We've been growing a lot. I've gotten like 4 or 5 new written ratings. Those help me tremendously. So the way Apple works is the way you get to the top of the page is with written the number of reviews you get. Obviously, the better the review and the more of the better review, the higher you get. So that helps a lot. If you guys want to just take up 5 seconds, 10 seconds out of your day to just kind of pull up your phone, go to Apple, laptop, whatever, hit the Michael Lapp Show, and obviously scroll all the way down to ratings, hit that subscribe button at the top, scroll all the way down to ratings, hit the write a review, and just put a little review. I love the podcast. It helps me a lot. Anything. And then make sure you just leave it a 5-star rating too. That helps me tremendously. Because at the end of the day, they don't require that much knowledge, but they do take work. They do take some work, and it helps me a lot. And it's amazing. So if you guys could do that on Apple, Spotify, if you guys could just subscribe on Spotify, that would help me tremendously. And then on YouTube, that's the place that I do spend a lot of time on YouTube, and I do think YouTube podcasts, there's a special element to them because you're watching me. You can see my facial features. You can see my hands moving. When I'm really into something, you can see it like that. But if you guys just want to subscribe there, that helps me a lot. I'm sorry about the ads, but it's kind of the way I make money on YouTube. I'm giving my time. I need to make some type of income so I can increase the quality of the videos. But if you guys want to subscribe, like it, comment on the videos, we can interact. That helps me tremendously. Those things mean the world to me. For people who are wondering, I've had a few people ask me, what do I use to record? Let's knock it out real quick. So I use something called a Rodecaster, which records my audio, and it's essentially my audio. It does whatever. It gets the words out of my mouth into a mic, onto a thing, onto a memory card. I use an Apple MacBook Pro to edit. I use a Sony Handyman, I think it's called, camera. I think it was a $900 camera. It's a 4K Sony 4K Handyman. I use these 2 production lights, these 2 photo shoot lights, and then I use some type of stand for my camera. But I take a file from the video, I take a file from the audio, I turn down the video audio, and I turn up, and I make sure the audio is nice on the Rodecaster. I team those up together, and then boom, I have the podcast set up. It's pretty simple. Everything cost about. Oh, then I have another. The mic. I use a Technica, Audio Technica A2020 for the mic, I believe it's called. But yeah, there's a lot of things you can do out there for a podcast. You can just use Anchor too if you want to get your ideas out that way. Other than that, I don't really have that much more to talk about, but I do know I do get a lot of questions about what do I use, how do I use it, when do I use it. But that's what I use for the podcast. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for spending time with me. I'm going to catch you guys on Thursday with a new podcast. I'm going to do a dual podcast with someone in my family, my girlfriend maybe. I don't know. Maybe have a few drinks. I have an idea for a podcast that I really want to do that I want to show you guys. It's a ridiculous idea, but I'm excited to do it because I have the ability to, and I've always been interested into what it is. But yeah, guys, this has been the Robe podcast. Just wearing the robe, chilling. I got to go shower, brush my teeth. Got to shower. I haven't showered in like a few days. I got dead skin all over my body. I got to figure out how to get this robe off. Guys, thank you so much for listening. Have a beautiful and great day.